Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tarnation TV, and welcome to the Moboil 10 Cup Series Exhibition Race, number 2 of 2. I'm Blaine, and of course, my co-host this evening, Rod. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad at all, buddy. Not bad at all.
Oh man, we were at Texas last week, and this week we are heading to Las Vegas.
Yeah, quite a bit of different track for these guys. Texas is pretty much a really high speed. Yeah, you have to lift for the corners, but it's a really, really fast track. This is not a slow track, but it's a different track. It's not as big. A little bit, the banking's pretty decent. More of a one groove racetrack from my experience racing here, but you'll get some people that get brave and get out there on the outside, and if you can get on the outside of somebody on the exit of two, you might get that line and take it away from them.
Yeah, it's a cool track. I was watching these guys flying around here in practice and whatnot, and tweaked my graphics a little bit because I noticed something must have reset, but it looks sharp now. And this version of Vegas, I can't remember what this is, SBR version 3 or something. There's all kinds of different versions of tracks, but this one looks really cool. Not sure how it races. I didn't have a chance to get out here and drive on this thing. Have you had a chance to get out there and drive around?
I haven't raced on it tonight, but I have raced this track before. It's SBP 07, so it's based on the 2007 version of the track. Like I said, it's a pretty much of a bottom treating track, but like I said, you can pass on the outside. It's just you got to, when you get out there, it's more taking the corner away from the guy. You'll see tonight too. There's some different cars. So last week, everybody was kind of in retro cars. We had a couple of cars painted up. Well, over the week, people have painted up some new cars. So you'll see some drivers that are in different numbers, but they're just basically in the numbers that they would normally run. And I think there's only about one or two of the retro cars tonight. And there's some nice looking cars out there tonight.
Yeah, very, very cool. We got a bit more drivers out here this evening too. We're just focused right now. This is happy hour, by the way. Drivers have already qualified. And Ken Hunsbury, I haven't seen him in a while, driving the 99. Gary Heiser's out there, Pat McCarskey, Toby Roberson, Joe Van Anderson, Randy Waugh, Bob Sire, Graham McDonald, John Godfrey. On the track right now, like I said, this is just happy hour. So we got about a dozen guys showed up today. This series, like we were saying before, it's an exhibition race. They're just kind of testing the waters. They are using the DMR mod Cup 12. I can't remember DMR Cup 12 ST version 1.0A.
Yeah.
All the information, of course, is on the Facebook page, linked below. If you're interested in racing in this league, Toby Roberson is in charge of this thing and has provided lots of resources for the car files, track files, the mod, of course, and broadcasting services as well. FRN is going to do some races as well as Tarnation TV, so it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they've got the scheduling pretty much all set up. Everything's good to go. And like we've said before, this is a free game. You want to come check it out. You can find it on the web. If not, get a hold of the people here. They can point you to the places where you can get it. I always say grab a wheel, but there's some guys out here that run with controllers that do amazing things with controllers. Andrew Miller, he broadcasts a little bit with you and other times when I'm not around, and that guy is phenomenal with a controller.
Yeah, it's definitely doable. Whatever you have, you can get out here and run with these guys. And they're all very accommodating too, like all the little tips and tricks and everything that come with all the years this thing has been around. Very, very cool. And a bunch of very cool people.
Great thing about this sim racing, and a lot of the leagues that I've been to, I've been through quite a few of them. You always get the people in there that are, especially somebody new. They're more than willing to help you out. You'll find what you got. They'll find out what you got for a wheel or controller or whatever. And because there's many different wheels out there, and there's always somebody that has that same wheel and can, do this, tweak this, do that, and it makes it a lot easier to race.
Especially, yeah, because there's guys running direct drive force feedback on here, and then there's guys like, I remember Jeffrey Elliott saying that he's got like a $10 wheel he found it at like a Salvation Army or Goodwill or something. So it's like literally anything in between works. I'm surprised that that the direct drive wheels work as well as they do. But Grant Wesley has a full-blown simulator rig set up to play all kinds of games, but still plays this thing, and it works great.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there that have 3 monitors or the big flip, what do they call those, bent screen ones? And the wheels. The wheels are, the sky's the limit on the wheels. I've seen people spend upwards of $3,000 to $4,000 on steering wheels for this game, and for, like you said, for other games that are out there, because this isn't the only game. This is an old one, but it is a very good one. It stands the test of time.
Yep.
A lot of people still play it. There's many leagues out there that are still running. A lot of them are going over to the iRacing and to the other stuff, but I think you'll see this one last for quite a while because it is such a good thing, and there are people out there that create new mods for it and new, just news and different stuff.
Yeah, and it never stops. It never ceases to amaze me. Wait, they do there's guys coming up better. They're doing the better caution things. They can have stage races and stuff. I'm like, how is this possible? But hey, people are figuring out how to do it. We got to get on the grid and retire so we can start this race.
There's plenty of different leagues. I have a friend of mine that owns a league that just, him and another guy have gotten together and they've done phenomenal things with this. And yet back when it first came out, they had to be kind of cautious. Some people did, especially because John Henry and somebody else, I can't think of the guy who the people were that started the iRacing thing. Well, that's where this came from. And so originally when people were doing it, they didn't like what people were doing with the modding and stuff like that. And now it's pretty much an open book.
All the net code and the physics and everything kind of migrated over. And I do know that the iRacing team is now working on another standalone NASCAR game, which will be very interesting to see. I'm excited for that. That'll be cool. Maybe they go back into... Oh, sorry?
Sorry, I was saying no Tyler this week, so Jovan Anderson got the pole.
Right. Pole position, Jovan Anderson, the number 93. To the outside of him, Toby Roberson, the 14. 27 of Bob Sire. Randy Waugh right beside him. Oh, we lost him. There he is. Ken Huntsberry, the 99. Keith Bynum driving the metallic gray car again this week.
Yes.
Denny Carroll out there with Pat McCarskey right next to him. Gary Heiser with Bobby Farrell right next to him. Of course, Graham McDonald is back there too in the 24, and right behind him, John Godfrey in that blue Wrangler. Here we come to the green flag of exhibition race number 2.
Toby got a little bit of loose on the start there and spun the tires a little bit. Kind of got it sideways, but he saved it. He's on the high side, and like I said, Joan, the bottom's going to be the preferred line, but it's not always going to be the fastest way. You might be able to find your way around the outside if the guys bottle up in the bottom, and then you, like I said, keep them from getting out the high side, pinch the corner down for him a little bit. Toby's all over the back of Jovan, though.
Yeah. These guys race a lot together. That's the thing with this community. We come into this Moboil 10 series created by Toby Roberson, and you just see a hybrid of drivers from all different leagues in here. It's not just going to be the Primetime Racing League drivers. It's going to be some of those guys, some of these guys, some other guys, and they're all coming in here on a Tuesday night to do some racing. And this is a hefty schedule for 2025 coming up here from Moboil 10. A lot of different tracks and a lot of racing. So if you're not busy on a Tuesday, you want to come down, links in the description below will lead you to the Facebook page, which also has links to the Discord server that Toby just started up to keep everything organized.
The other good thing too is it's not a 35 race or 40 race season. It's actually gotten splitting down to 2. And we're under caution. I saw something happen in the back. I think it was Gary Heiser and Ken Huntsberry got together, and I think Ken went up into the wall a little bit there. I was kind of looking back at Pat McCarskey's car. He painted up a car for this week. It's a sharp-looking rig.
Yeah, Pat's always got something going on. Watching replay right now here.
but they're
Focusing on
cutting the
Huntsville.
season. They're cutting the season in half. So in other words, it's not going to be one just major season that can get people burned out. And then especially if you happen to jump in at the quarter mark of the season, and you're way out of it. Well, you just keep going, because once they get to the halfway point, they're going to start over again.
Yeah, which is very cool. I mean, there's always going to be something going on, and there's always a chance to come away with some points. Ken did a great job, actually, watching this in slow motion of just sort of spinning that car right around and then tagging the wall again, evenly on the right side. So nobody got into him. He just got on it, spun it around, and just kept on going. But the yellow flag has to come out because obviously
it kind of looked to me like he might have got into the back of Gary Heiser's car just a little bit, and you would think, well, that would dump Gary. Well, no, it won't. It can actually unload the front end of the car, and it pushed him up in there.
So most of the drivers are on pit road. This is lap 5. There's a fuel window, you were saying 20 to 22 on fuel tires.
Yeah. Bob Spire decided to stay out, and so did Pat McCarskey.
Interesting.
Well, it all depends too. The tire wear on here is going to be a little bit, but that's, if you think there's going to be more caution, sometimes it's just safer to be out front.
Are you set up as the TeamSpeak helper? Can you go grab people and pull them into the booth?
I can if we have to.
Cool. Can you grab Toby?
I can do that. All right, we grabbed him down to the booth with us.
Toby, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you guys up here?
Oh, not too bad. We're just hanging out. We're just looking, man. We're just talking about the league and where we're going in 2025. You guys got a massive schedule covering pretty much every track in existence, man. So this is looking to be a lot of fun for anybody who wants to get into some racing in 2025.
Yeah, it's a lot of different types of racing for anyone out there. Short track racing, some cookie cutters like tonight, and even a couple of fun tracks they might not expect. Daytona Beach I'll throw out there, might be on the schedule. So some really exciting stuff. For the most part, we run 2010 to 2020, that decade of tracks. So we like to we're kind of honoring some of the best track creators out there in the day. FSC, Safer Barrier Project. Just some of those guys that really put a lot of work into the game, and we want to continue enjoying their work.
Yeah, there's been so many track makers. I can't even think. What was there was just a guy recently that actually retired from doing it. I can't remember his name. John Silver or something. That's not
familiar. Definitely John something.
John something, yeah. Oh man, I can't remember what his name was. The dude did amazing work with so many teams, but there's so many names. It's impossible to make a list. But and that's the thing. There's so many different versions of so many different tracks, and some of them don't really work all that good. But then, as the years go by, they've been tweaked, and it's cool that you just have to. Your job must be tough because you need to find the best versions of these things that can actually be raced on properly.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this community, right? We're all sharing information. We're all trying different tracks. Some might work better for one league, works better for another. This league, if it's hard to tell just by, maybe being way up there. But to give people an idea who are watching, these tracks are a pretty good mix of realism and, a bit arcadish, because at the end of the day, it is a game. It's a simulation, but it's also a game. So we have a nice balance here to where if you're a decently skilled driver, you can go out here and you can have a lot of fun. But if you're a top-notch, skill, and you're out there and you have thousands of hours in, and you make the right moves, you'll find your way to the front. So it's a good place to. I think we found a happy medium, and I'm very happy about the schedule ahead. Yep.
Are you guys going to have any fun weeks off that aren't points races, these weird figure 8 tracks and stuff like that?
They actually, for the most part, they're going to be points races, even the couple of weird ones that we have throughout the year, just because we want to spice it up a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool, because we're not going to run 10 road courses a year. We're not doing that. how NASCAR kind of is nowadays, running around on the road courses, but we'll throw in a fun track or two.
Right.
Because nobody wants to race, almost a full throttle track every single week.
No, that's it. The road courses are cool, and there's a lot of really cool, obscure ones, too. And dirt tracks as well have been a thing recently I've seen popping around, so that's cool. That's neat also.
All right, getting ready to go green. We got to let this guy race.
Oh, well then. Yeah, let's do our job, and thanks for letting us abduct you, Toby, and good luck out there tonight.
No problem. Thanks for pulling me up, and hopefully you put on a great show.
I'm sorry, but the guy's got wrecked. He's at the outside of the outside of the front row here. No, that's Now I wonder if he's talking about the old one where they ran on the beach and then on the asphalt.
I think so.
Somebody make that?
It does exist in the game, yes.
Really, I have never raced on that
like
one.
The
That's
original
cool. That would be awesome.
1950s or something, before Daytona was Daytona.
Yeah.
It was a half sand, half asphalt. That'd be pretty.
They started doing speed runs down there. Is what started it all. They started doing speed runs on the beach because it was fairly straight, fairly smooth.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, right. Like a big drag strip.
But it kind of, sort of, but like they have what they do in the Bonneville Salt Flats kind of thing. They started doing that down there, and then I don't even know if it was Bill Francis started that or who. They just kind of looked at it and went, well, what if we turned here? And what if we turned here? And they made a racetrack out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be neat. Like you said, even though they're going to do these fun tracks like that, maybe a couple of fictional ones, they're all going to be for points. So that's very, very cool, little variety.
I have to say, I still get a kick out of Randy Waugh's running one of the retro cars. He has not got a new one painted up for himself. And Randy Waugh in a Ford, and it not Alabama, was it Red Tide or
Roll Tide? Yeah,
Roll Tide. Yeah,
Crimson Tide, something like that.
It just doesn't seem right. I mean, it's a Wood Brothers. Yeah, it's a great car. You can't complain about that, but it doesn't seem right. And then we have to say hi to Corey out there because I'm sure he's gonna be watching and rooting on his dad.
He usually is. Yep, Corey's usually sitting there watching the races. If Randy Waugh is around, currently running in the third position.
And Denny Carroll right behind him. Now, he just took a car from last week that he was running the 39 and put a 41 on it, and it actually looks really, really good.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's like the car doesn't look any different, but yeah, he switched the number to his own number. Yep.
I didn't have one that had the 41 on it, so I'm sure you'll see a lot of these guys. I'm sure Randy will get one as Randy tries to get him underneath Toby there. Randy will get him up a 21 Dodge pretty soon. He probably hasn't got decided what he wants or whatnot. We got a painter in there to get him up one, painted up one.
Yeah, with the league doing a couple exhibition races now in mid-December, of course we're going into the holiday and the New Year's season. And then in the new year, there is no set date as to when this season will officially start. Toby's just keeping it vague as, 2025. So it might be the end of January, it might be the beginning of February, but yeah, definitely get on the Facebook page, link below. Links to everything are included there.
As Randy was trying to get into the second position there a little bit, Toby decided to get down there in the bottom and pass Jovan. Now, Govan's a very, very, very clever driver. And he knows the limit of these cars. And he also knows that if we got to start getting along green flag run, we got to save a little bit. So I guess he's put up on the outside, but I guarantee you he's just backed off a little bit, saving that tires a little bit. And he'll be coming back here at the end of the run.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's led 9 of these laps. This is a 94-lap race. There's no reason to use up everything you got right away. So you fall back into a little pocket, maybe soak up some of that draft, save maybe a little bit of fuel and tires. You do a lot more coasting back there, and just sort of watch, see what these other guys are up to.
The only other issue you have behind somebody where you're backing off a little bit, you're getting a little bit better. They're pushing the air for you, but the downside to that is in some of the setups is they're pushing the air for you, so you don't get as much push on air downforce on the front of the car, which can cause it to get a little bit tighter.
Mm-hmm.
The game's done well enough so the aerodynamics does play a part in it. Unfortunately, it doesn't do the side drafting of what they do nowadays.
No.
It doesn't work, but...
Right behind him, we got that one shade of gray, Keith Bynum in that 63 no paint job exhibition racing car, clearly. The new
got his,
design is still on the drawing board.
Yeah, he's got his practice car there. You know, like they test a testing car out. They
Yep.
just leave him. They just leave him gray or whatever color, and just slap a number on and go. He just forgot to put a number on it.
Yeah, there is a 63 on it somewhere. It looks like it's up in that right front fender, but the stock default template for these things, I guess, wasn't really designed too well.
No, they have a tendency to put them in different places on some of them, and it puts it upside down on literally the front of the right front fender.
Yeah. If we got Frank Divens on the case, he could definitely make up a bunch of awesome generics.
Oh yeah, Rodney Sullivan. Sorry,
Wow. We just saw Pat McCarskey get a hold of that wall. I flipped over to look at Gary Heiser, and I could see Pat at the top of the screen.
Oh, I'm not sure. Randy Waugh kicked it up a little bit. He's gotten himself out front, out in the lead. But there again, I'm sure that they're saving. Some of the guys are probably a little over halfway through the run, and they're just starting to say, all right, we got to save a little bit. Randy might have saved a little earlier. Now he's using it up a little bit to get out front.
So we're at lap 20 now. So the guys who didn't pit under yellow are going to be needing to come down pit road pretty soon, I would think.
Everybody ended up pitting. Bob Spire was the last one. Him and Graham McDonald.
Okay.
While we had Toby in there, I kept track of what they were doing. Pulled in at the very last minute, put 4 tires and fuel on there. So.
No. Okay. See, on the broadcast, you never would have known, but my game locked up, so that's why I had no idea.
Yeah. And so, but the reason why you would do that is there's 2 reasons. One, maybe there's a possibility that if you could go a little bit further than everybody else, possibility the caution could fall. You'd trap the whole field of lack down. Even though they have a lucky dog, you're only going to have one other car on the lead lap, or the people would have to stay out, and you'd go in pit. They'd be in front of you. They'd all be in front of you, but you'd still have better tires than them. As Denny Carroll just pulls into the bottom of Randy Waugh and gets over the lead.
Easily pulled it in there. Now, Toby's starting to come back at him a little bit, though. These guys are good, though. They're dicing it up front there. They're kind of flip-flop positions and maybe still getting a feel for things here early in the race.
You gotta love exhibition races when there's no points. It brings out the best in some of them,
Yeah, because you're going to try some stuff because you're not really worried about wrecking anybody's day or losing any points. I mean, they're not going out there to be malicious, but it's like you can try a different line if you maybe get a hang of this track and how it works with other drivers. Testing sessions are very different when you're by yourself.
Absolutely. The other thing, too, about pitting late like that, Kobe just pounded the wall.
Ooh.
The other thing about pitting late, too, though, is, so let's say we have green flag pit stops, and we have, you have 7 or 8 cars all coming together and trying to pit at the same time. Well, we've seen it many a times in these broadcasts, where somebody might get in the back of somebody breaks a little sooner, some a little later, whatever. If you can do one extra lap and do in a pit by yourself, now you've got an open pit. You don't have anybody running into you or running into somebody. And it sometimes certain tracks that can make a big advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, you could drive. You don't have to finesse the car into the pit stall. There's all kinds of just easier all around.
Yeah, there are some tracks that it doesn't work well no matter which way. You get to Dover. Green flag pits at Dover's are just no fun. It's so hard to get down there.
In the chat there, we were trying to figure out the track maker. Pumpkin, who's Bob Sire. Is it John Norton? That sounds familiar.
Not sure who did the Safer Barrier project.
No, but as a track maker, I believe Bob Sire is right. John Norton was the guy that recently retired from making tracks.
Oh yeah, the one you were talking about earlier. Okay,
yeah. And he's been a part of a lot of big projects. And he was a big contributor to the NASCAR Racing 2003 season community because ever since the game came out in the early 2000s, these guys, do what they do. And They do it for nothing. They just do it for the sim, do it for the community.
And there are some tracks out there that are just as extremely wild and crazy as can be.
Mm-hmm.
AOD Dragway is one that always comes to mind. It has Martinsville. One corner is Martinsville. One corner is Daytona. That same corner has.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and
so they went
jump.
They went in and like took like copy and pasted sections of other tracks.
It's unique. You'd have to see it. Turn 1 is 4 different tracks.
That's awesome.
4 or 5 different bankings, and I don't mean progressive banking like we see on some of these tracks nowadays. I mean, we're talking totally different banking. And
oh wow,
they're pitting out.
Toby just about got run over.
But he pulled that thing in there.
Yeah, he did.
We got all kinds of them out there pitting out, and I'm surprised that Bob Spire actually pitted with him.
This camera's in the wrong spot.
So Denny Carroll, Jovan Anderson, and Keith Bynum all stayed out. Looks like Denny Carroll and Keith. Nope, all 3 of them. Okay, so they're now coming in. Just Jovan didn't look like he was pitting because he came in there so quick. Whoop. Keith got in the back of Denny Carroll just a little bit there on pit road.
Setting up these pit cameras. Get a better angle on.
Let's see who gets out first. Looks like Toby Robinson's going to be the first one out. Followed by Gary Heiser, and Randy Waugh had a great pit stop. He's actually might get ahead of Gary Heiser on the exit of pit road. It's like I always say, the delta time. The time it takes you to, you going. I think it's 45 miles an hour down pit road. You're not going to gain much there. If your pit stops are great, you don't gain much there. But you can gain a lot by being into the pits quick and out of the pits quick. And Randy Waugh actually beat Gary Heiser off pit road and on the bottom and got ahead of him on the exit.
Yeah, and just crossed the line, Randy Waugh did, in number 5 position. So we've got pit stops happening right now. Pit road looks clean. Being credited in first place right now, Jovan Anderson in the 93. Focus on him right there. So right around lap 30 or so. Pit cycles under green.
After the pit stops all kind of got cycled through, Toby Robinson ended up with the lead. Joanne had it for a little bit there. And then Randy Waugh's back there in third, running really, really strong tonight. This track seems to suit him well. Gary Heiser back there in fourth. There's 4-car breakaway kind of. They all just had really good pit stops, come out all together.
Yep. I'm looking at this fuel window stuff here now. So it's probably 50, 70, 90. Like, we're going to have to do 3 more stops, I think, if we go green the whole way.
I like it when they go green the whole way, but it's strategy-wise, it really opens up a lot of things.
Yeah. So there's Toby Roberson in first position, followed by Jovan Anderson right behind him. Randy Waugh in third place. Gary Heiser in fourth. Behind him, Keith Bynum. Denny Carroll in the 41 in sixth position. Now, these cars are about 3 seconds off the leader, so this is the second pack we're looking at here. There's Pat Pekarsky in the 97. He's running in 11th right there. Pat is 1 lap down. John Godfrey is not. He's 7th. 8th place, Graham McDonald. Bobby Farrell's a lap down, too, yeah.
Yeah,
Bob
I was going to say, I'm
nice.
not sure what happened to those guys. Did they had a bad pit stop, or we'll have to go take a look at that, I guess. Hold on.
I love that car that Farrell's driving. That number 9 is
it's
cool.
sweet.
Yeah. Ken Huntsbury back there also in 10th position on the lead lap. That 99 car is 17.5 seconds from the leader.
Wondering if Bobby Farrell had a drive-through. That's what happened to Bobby Farrell. He had a drive-through.
Oh, we got a penalty.
Penalty, probably a speeding penalty, and had to do a drive-through.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, they only do one lucky dog per caution. So he's got to catch Pat McCarsky if he wants to be that lucky dog. That makes it interesting.
That's an interesting thing too, because you think about the cars that aren't on the lead lap, like, that's a big deal because he is. Let me see here. So Bobby Farrell in relation to Pat McCarsky. Yeah, he's. Let's get a spectator view on that.
Of course, too, Bobby Farrell's out by himself. Pat McCarsky's running with Graham McDonald
in a pack there, yeah,
and Johnny Godford. And drafting doesn't always play at some tracks, but it does on a track like this. It may not play as much of dividends, but if you've got three people running well together, you can go a bit quicker.
Well, even this lead pack, like you were saying, how good they got in and out of the pits, and they just sort of driving away, like not driving away, but they're keeping that 2 to 3 second gap from that second pack. That gap has closed a little bit. It was just over 3 seconds from fifth to first. Keith Bynum is now within 2.5, so they are closing in a little bit. It just depends if these guys want to race each other or just want to kind of work together and see if they can put some space between those other cars behind them.
Just looking at some of the cars out there, Graham McDonald, the number 24, Mopar as always. Typical paint scheme for him. In a Dodge, he's always in a Dodge, and he's running good back there, just biding his time, seeing if he can make up some. Hopefully, probably, I think a lot of these guys are just hoping for a caution, and they're not it to get caught back up the field.
Yeah, and they're content, right? Like he's just following Godfrey in the three. There's John Godfrey, and then in front of him, Pat McCarsky is a lap down, but Pat's doing fine. Like he's still able to keep speed. It looks like Pat will yield now to Godfrey.
That's the thing. I mean, we're at the halfway point. You don't want to burn your tires up trying to get to the front. If you run behind these guys, like I said, racing cautions happen. You want to try to. Not that you want to see anybody bring out a caution or whatever, but sometimes you need them to get your strategy back to work right for you.
A little bit of contact, and Godfrey, it looked like the spotter may have said that he was clear, but I think they actually touched the 97.
Yeah, didn't hurt him too bad. I don't think they're running moderate damage, which doesn't. Oops, you get another little nudge from
door banged. From Graham
around to go. Well, we're going to get that caution we need. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be
maybe not. Nope.
Pat
went around, but there was nobody coming, so it looks like the green will stay up.
And he drives down pit road, so hopefully that may put him a little bit further back. He may stop and do a pit stop and just come out and see what he's got.
That's too bad. He was getting used and abused back there. Those guys were leaning on him. He went around and there was nobody behind him, so the yellow flag did not come out. So under green, and then he was able to get it below the line there and get it down on the apron. That's kind of how the game will call a yellow. It'll only call a yellow if there's danger to other cars. If you're the last guy in the line and you spin around and there's nobody coming that's going to hit you, the green will stay up.
So, and Pat did take 4 tires, fuel, a little bit of damage repair, and he's back out. He's going to be a few laps down, but at least he's got the car back right, new tires, and he should be a little quicker than the rest of the field with a new set of tires. We're probably close to halfway through that run, so it might help him out. You never know.
Something happened with Bobby Farrell. I just saw a white cloud there. We're going to back that up, see if we can see what happened. There he goes across the finish line, coming into turn number 1, and just pushes way up to the wall, all by himself. Spun around similar to how Huntsbury did it, just sort of went for a spinorama. And again, not on the racing line, so green flag stays up.
Randy Waugh getting racy again. He was just trying to get underneath Toby Robertson, but he wasn't able to do that, so he backed off a little bit. Now I think he's just going to cool his tires down and see what he can do again.
I'm Jovan Anderson in the lead.
4 guys that broke away they haven't pulled away from each other, and I think that pack behind them is actually kind of running them down a little bit.
They are slowly but surely closing that gap. It's down to just about 2 seconds now.
Once they get within about a second, that's when the aerodynamics will start coming into play, and they're gaining on them because they're going faster than they are. But once they get to that point where you're about 1 second, you'll pick up a little bit more speed because you're starting to pick up the draft, and then the closer you get, the better that will get.
Which also affects your corner entry and stuff too, so you kind of have to adapt to that because you'll be carrying more speed into the corners from the straight.
Absolutely, and it looks like Denny Carroll's pulled by underneath Keith Bynum there. It's now
here we are. I was just going to say that.
Third and fourth car pitted.
We're going to have
see a little bit of smoke there.
Looks like Randy Waugh, Gary Heiser down to the pit road.
That's pretty good for Randy Waugh. If he was being as aggressive as he was at that late in the run, the setup must be really good and comfortable for him. He's able to drive like that later.
Watch the pit lane entry cam here. You can see those yellow cones. That'll be your commitment line.
Danny Carroll pulls in, and you got John Godfrey and Graham McDonald just coming behind him, a little bit further behind.
Yep. Karski, of course, staying out because he.
This is where it could be an advantage for him. This is where it could be an advantage for him, just because now he's out there on not fresh, but fresher tires. He's going to make up a little bit of a time on them. Now, granted, they're going to be faster than he is because they're going to be on newer tires. But should the caution happen to fall at the right moment, now might have made up a lap, maybe 2, and then that'll bring him, escalate him up a little bit further. Possibly, if he could be the lucky dog, then he could be back on the lead lap.
Right. And kind of being out there by yourself and having pit a few laps earlier, you don't have to pit with anybody. So you're really, if anything happens, you're not going to really be surrounded by it. Like, you don't have to go down the pits with everybody else. You're not going to get run into or anything like that. You're just kind of out there running your own race, and like you say, you keep at it, and stranger things have happened. You can get those laps back pretty quick sometimes.
Jovan Anderson just pitted, took 4 tires and fuel, and he's gonna come out just in front of that. Nope. Randy Waugh is gonna, that short pitting kind of gave him a little bit more time to get up to speed and going. Randy Waugh is gonna be in front of him, where I think Toby's in front of him maybe.
The intervals on I was going to say the time intervals are going to change to be a lot shorter than 40 seconds because we got to let this pit cycle travel through.
So Randy Waugh, great pit stop by Randy Waugh. He smoked the tires a little bit, but that's what you got to do sometimes. But you got to do it where you don't, overcook the pit road speed. And he had a great pit stop, come out in front of Jovan Anderson. Of course, Jovan's probably just going to follow him around for a little bit, and then I think you'll see him, as the race progresses, get a little bit more aggressive on the tires and probably get back out to the front. But it's nice to see Randy Waugh. He's competing very well with these guys. And I don't know, I'm speech impairment or something. I can't seem to talk right. Hold on, I'm going to take a beverage break here. Just 1 second.
Good call, Paul. Beverage break here on Tarnation TV.
There you go. How's that old saying starting to go? I'm starting to get some blood in my alcohol system.
That sounded like a beer, but it's a cider. Hey guys, I'm just gonna have a cider.
Ain't powder here. Come
What
on.
is this here? Red rhubarb.
Different.
Yeah, it's good. Go to the liquor store. We got a bottle of rum because it's Christmas time.
See, just to get back at what I was talking about earlier, it's probably not going to work unless the caution falls. But Pat McCursky was 3 laps down before everybody stopped. Now he's 1 lap down. Now, granted, he's not in the lucky dog position. That is gone. Yet right now, that's Ken Huntsberry. But should the caution fall right now, he's only going to be 1 lap down.
Problem is, Randy's gonna pass him.
Randy Waugh and Jovan Anderson have got newer tires than he does.
Yeah.
And they're going to make short work of him.
That's the thing, yeah. Like this track, like I said, I didn't run this track, but the tire fall off always comes into play. You know, you could run 15 laps, and all of a sudden they just start falling apart.
But even though, so now he's going to be 2 laps down. Let's just say the caution should fall now.
Right.
He still has gained a lap. So it makes sense to do what he did to a certain extent. Strategy in this game is really, really hard because I'm usually pretty good at trying to play the tires, trying to play the fuel, but they also, sometimes you try to play the game where you're trying to play the cautions, but you don't have control of the cautions. So you try to play, you think you know you're going to get a caution, and you hope you get it at this time, and, get an advantage.
I've been so lucky sometimes that with cautions will come out like, okay, I got a pit right now, and you get on the pit road, and then the caution comes out, and you're like, oh, sweet. So you're on pit lane, you're allowed to take service because you're in there.
Yeah. And
then you come out and everybody else goes in pits, and you drive by all of them, and you're in your front row, you're leading some laps, so it's sometimes you get really lucky.
Sometimes the game has a glitch. Okay, the simulator, I like to call it, I don't like calling it a game. But the simulator does have a glitch. So if you hit pit road and you hit your pit stall and you are the leader, okay? So maybe you've done you're the last person to pit, right? So you've got everybody, you've pitted, you've crossed the start finish line, you've got into your pit, and now while you're in your pit stall, you're getting your first set of tires. Then they go across, start doing the second, and the caution flag comes out. You come out, you sometimes beat the pace car, and you actually put the whole field a lap down.
Yeah, really.
And we've had some leagues where we've had that problem, and it does create a problem because you've got guys like, I was the leader, now why am I a lap down? You know what I mean, type of thing. Yeah. And it's just basically the way the game plays is as you hit the end of pit road, if it's a green flag condition, you have a green light, you go. For pace cars coming down to the front stretch and going, through there,
stop sign comes out. Yeah.
If you get out of there and go before the pace car actually gets to the start finish line, you can actually put the whole field lap down.
Yeah, people forget about the stop sign. There's a little, on this track, I think there are lights, but like the pit exit can be closed. If the pace car is pulling the field past the pit exit, you have to stay on pit road until the pack goes by. Of course, the more cars there are, the longer you have to wait. But some guys will just drive right through that and it'd be like, why did I get a penalty? I'm like, you exited a closed, like the exit was closed and you ran the stop sign.
Yeah.
You're going to make you do a drive-through for running the stop sign. Like,
the way Randy's going right now, I was just looking. Randy's led 15 laps. Jovan has led 21.
I don't know.
That's Toby. Toby's led 17. Bob Spire has led 2. Oops, I missed one in there. That Denny Carroll has 7. Are we under caution?
Yes, we are.
Missed that. I was
just
looking over at
our. I just saw the pace car coming out with the lights on, so I'm gonna see if I can find the smoke show. It looks like it might be Pat McCar. Oh wow, Pat McCarsky has a lot of damage. We're gonna see what's going on here.
Oh, now this is going to make it interesting because we're right now currently got about 30 laps to go. We got some lap down cars. Ken Hunksberry is going to should be our lucky dog. We got some lap down cars, and so we're probably going to get 3 laps of caution. That's not enough to make it. So now how do you break up this second part? So if you got 30, let's say after a few, we're going to have 28 laps. Do you run the 22 laps full, come in, take 2 tires, just enough fuel to make it, save time on the pit? Or do you break it in half, pit, that'd be about what, 14, lap 14, come in, take 4 tires, enough fuel to make it, get out there and run quicker on the newer tires.
Yeah, Pat McCarskey got into the outside wall and it slung him down into the inside wall. Major damage on that car. Couldn't actually get it wound up, and Graham McDonald tagged him.
Randy Waugh, great pit stop again, comes out. He's going to be the leader off from pit road. Joanne Anderson come out behind him. And Toby Roberson, he comes out in third. Gary Heiser. So the top 4 that have been kind of up top 4 most of the night are still up there. But now everybody's going to be caught up except for the cars that are 1 lap down. Keith Bynum, he come out 5th. Graham McDonald is out in 6th. My buddy Denny Carroll, he's out in 7th.
Do you want to talk to John Godfrey? Drag him down here?
We can do that. Hold on. John Godfrey. You got Blaine and Rod up in the booth, buddy. How you doing tonight?
Live on the air.
Doing all right, fellas. How you doing?
Oh, man, this is a fantastic race, dude. And, that's an awesome-looking car you're driving, by the way. But what are things looking like out there now with these fuel windows? I mean, you guys have been running most of this thing green, and you get these yellows. I'll bet you they're messing your math up.
Yeah, the calculators are burning out quickly down here on pit road. It's anyone's game now, bunching the field back up.
So I'm thinking now, we're going to have to make at least 1 more stop, maybe even 2, depending. What are you thinking? Tires, no tires? I mean, you have to take tires.
We're not gonna tell anybody your strategy. So
yeah, we promise.
Just all the viewers at home, right? I think those guys got you guys in Tarnation TV tuned in down on pit road too. So I'm not gonna tip my cards and let them see what I'm playing.
We're kind of figuring, some of these people may go for, like the halfway and cut it, and some people may just go as long as they can. 2 tires, at the end of the run, how's your left side tires? Are they pretty wore out, or could you do that?
I was running pretty hard, so I was beating up my right front pretty good to keep up with the boys. So yeah, it's going to be interesting here how the strategy plays out.
Yeah. Well, you got any more questions for him, Blaine?
Yeah, I just messed up the broadcast. We're still broadcasting.
All right, John, we'll get you back up there, buddy. Well, thanks for coming up and talking with us a little bit, or let us talk to you while you're racing. Good luck. Use the best strategy, smart strategy. Go get them.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks for all you do.
Thanks, John. Oh, man, these camera angles on the free cam, sometimes, if you push the wrong button, you start getting vertigo, and I can't see anything. Okay, there we go. We got our fixed. I was getting seasick. I hit the wrong button, and I was like, oh, no. It's doing that inverted spiral, and I can't get it back.
And we're talking about trying something new and broadcasting golf. You go doing that in golf, man. We're gonna be watching the golf game upside down.
Yeah, it's weird when free cam gets upside down when you're locked onto a car. It's like everything is inverted, and it's impossible to try to get your mouse to. It makes I panic every time it happens. So anyway, thanks for being with us.
Remember, these guys, something we haven't talked about tonight. These guys do double file restarts. And the leader does have the option. So it looks to me, I don't know why, Randy Waugh is back in second. So
did he choose the high line?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, but We'll have to see at the start because Jovan just might be ahead of him, pulling ahead of him or whatever. But
because you're saying the leader has lane choice, so the 21 Randy Watt could have actually opted to flip.
I believe they do that. So we're off. Randy Watt got a good start. Didn't spin the tires at all.
Yeah, he'll get credit for second place on that, but that doesn't really matter because if he chose that lane, that's where he wants to be.
Well, it's hard. Like I said, the place where you get the advantage is on the exit because you stop the guy from coming up to the wall, and that makes them pinch the car down. And I'm not really 100% sure on this version, but a lot of the versions, oops, we got a big crash in the back.
Big crash in the back, yellow flag.
Grant
back
McDonald's
out again.
around.
Oh, Huntsbury's
Bobby
around too.
Farrow. I just caught it on the top of the screen.
No. Is Godfrey involved in that? The Tarnation TV curse? We talked to the guy.
Oh, no. Don't tell me we did that to him.
We did. Focused on Godfrey right now in an instant replay to see what happened. Something might happen in front of him. Oh, something... I don't know if he washed up. I have to get a different... I had to get that helicopter cam to see the line. Oh, yeah, it looks like Denny came down a little bit and collected the 24 and the 3. Oh, and the 9 of Bobby Farrell. 24 taking some good damage. And I think the 99 all by himself right here went around. Oh, he actually got through it. Ken Huntsbury gets through the wreck.
Which is good for him because
that'll made give him, such a crazy maneuver that he actually oversteered it. But he didn't get any damage. He didn't touch the wall.
That should put Ken Huntsbury back in the lead. Gary Heiser stayed out. Now, I think that's smart. They're going to have about 22, 23 laps verge of making it on fuel.
Yeah, so you're saying, you're taking into account the running yellow caution speed too, right?
Right. So there are 24 laps to go right now. So you have 2 lap down cars, so you should have at least 3 laps of caution.
Right.
That's going to get you close. If you're pitted now, granted, you do save fuel under caution. I believe the ratio is about 2 to 1. So in other words, you'll gain about a lap under caution.
Right.
But
because if you can under green flag conditions, you'll burn the same amount. You'll burn the same amount of fuel in 2 laps that you would on 1 green flag.
Right. You can do even more than that. So now Gary Heiser is pitting this time.
Okay. I get you.
So of course, Ken Huntsbury, I'm assuming he's going to be the lucky dog. All right. Keith Bynum's pitted the first time, and he's going to come out. So now you take that into consideration. All of the drivers except for Keith Bynum and Denny Carroll did not pit this time. Everybody else came down pit road.
Right.
You're going to get, Gary Heiser's going to take 4 tires and fuel. You probably see Jovan, Toby, they're just fuel only, along with Randy Waugh. John Godfrey obviously was in part of that, and
Farrell took tires. Heiser took tires.
It's going to get interesting. Okay. It's going to be really, really close.
If it's green from when we go green, and if it stays green,
right,
it's really tight on gas. Now, how do tires react with the fuel like that? Do you use up the tires completely? I think the tires would last longer than the fuel. It shouldn't be an issue with tires.
The way, especially if you talk to John Godfrey, we talked to John Godfrey earlier. He said he was burning up the right front, but you could do a complete run on a set of tires. Granted, it isn't going to be as fast at the end, and they might be fairly worn out, but you can do that. It's just more of fuel mileage kind of thing. Now, Graham McDonald pulled back down pit road.
So here's an interesting one here. So Keith Bynum,
Jovan pulled that down.
Oh, they're topping up.
Randy
Okay.
Waugh, John Godfrey, Bobby Farrell, they've all come back down to take fuel.
So did Huntsbury pit, or is he trapped in the wave around spot right now? Because Huntsbury's in ninth.
He should. He is going to be your lucky dog. Should be.
Right.
So, and he pitted the first time around. Now, mind you, we're all accustomed to most of the leagues that we broadcast for. They have the lucky dog pit the second time around, and then puts him in the back, or then they come from the back, go up to the front. They pass the pace car, concur a black flag, and it's cleared for them. But now we've got. I'm gonna say when we take the green, we're 22 laps. These people that just pitted, Randy Waugh, Jovan Anderson, John Godfrey, they all just pitted. They may still be close, but they've got I believe, a better chance.
Yeah,
I'm sure that Keith Bynum has been saving. I can see the guy's been clutching now that I'm watching him a little bit.
Pace car's off.
Pace car's off.
Getting ready to go green here at the start of lap number 73 of 94. This race brought to you part by Mobile One. No, not Mobile One. Moboil 10.
Ken Huntsbury spun the tires. Keith Bynum got the worst end of that deal.
We were locked on to Keith. Round into the front stretch infield. That's horrible.
Gary
Keith
Heiser got the lead out of that. Toby Robertson second, and Randy Waugh's third. Jovan Anderson actually lost out of that. He had to lift to avoid from hitting, the spinning Keith Bynum, and he's back and forth.
Yeah, it's like that whole thing happened with no real contact. These guys are driving these things sideways. Randy got way up almost into that wall there, but he dragged her back down.
That allowed Toby Robertson to get underneath him. It's getting, we got down 20 laps. It's going to be interesting to see they're running, as hard as they're running them, is whether or not they can do it on fuel. Is, in my opinion, Jovan Anderson and Randy Waugh in the catbird seat. I think Toby pitted too as well. So
we got Brian in the YouTube chat going, what's up with the cameras? TV2 is weird. It puts me behind stuff. So, but it's really cool on certain parts of the track, and then it's like totally blocked on other parts. So trying to get a hang of the camera pack.
And every track has a different camera pack. And some of them are just without having the other stuff that you use that Tyler hooked you up with there to help out. It's still, some of them are pretty funky.
Oh, their pit lane cameras are brutal, because pit lane 2 actually just focuses on victory lane and it actually shows you nothing. So I moved that one. And then same with pit lane 1, it just focuses on the line. So I kind of flared it out a bit, but yeah, it's weird. The thing with Vegas, though, I mean, every version of Vegas is based on, it's the same orientation, so you could actually swap cam files from Vegas to Vegas if they're different.
Yep. So now, swear last time around, I'm watching Toby Robertson. I do believe he just clutched going down the front stretch into turn 1.
Now, is Toby a clutcher? I didn't think he was. Like, I know the level, like all the levels will clutch, like, all the time. And, it works. I don't. Really,
I'm world famous for it.
You do it a lot, yeah. I don't know if Toby is or not.
I've won races just by doing that. But
yeah,
just almost looked like he clutched and won 2 laps ago, but he hasn't done anything like that since. Got a pretty good little mix-up up here. You've got Gary Heiser's leading, Randy Waugh second, Toby Robertson third, Denny Carroll fourth, Jovan Anderson is just sitting back there watching them all. Sometimes sitting back is a smart thing to do, just because you got these guys racing hard. It only takes one little bit of a mistake, and easier to pass them when they're headed around backwards than it is when they're racing forward.
Yeah, for sure.
John Godfrey's still right there. Oh, here comes
Yep.
Denny Carroll on Toby Robertson. John Godfrey was right back there in sixth spot.
He
Not that far
wasn't.
behind him.
Yeah, he was involved in that accident there last time around, but it wasn't major impact either. We saw Pat Pekarsky earlier in the race. He took a major impact. He was actually forced to retire. Bob Sire also has retired, and so has Keith Bynum. Currently on pit road, Bobby Farrell is minus 10 laps. He's 10 laps behind, but still running.
To give you an idea, Jovan Anderson is clutching into one.
Huntsbury to the pits from 8th position.
Jovan is clutching into the corners.
Okay, there's Jovan there
So
in
we
the
don't
93.
That information right there tells me, even though Jovan was one of the last guys that pitted, they can't make it. And I think Jovan's going to try to do it.
Oh, yeah, he's clutching hard. We're just riding here on the... Let's go in the cockpit. He's killing it completely going into the turn and picking it back up at the apex.
And you wouldn't believe how much fuel that can actually save. Now, granted, he's not going to be, having NASCAR looking for a basketball in his fuel tank, but it will, when you're as close as they are, that can make the difference of being able to make it or not.
Now, does the car, when you take all power out of the wheels like that, does the car not get way loose? How's he holding on to this thing?
It doesn't, depending on how you go about it. So, in the game, a lot of drivers. Now Gary Heiser is headed down a pit road, but a lot of drivers will do what's they'll call trail brake.
Right.
Okay. So, and how that works is
Load
you go
the
into
suspension.
you basically go into the corner. You never lift off the gas completely, and you brake. So you are actually braking and using the gas at the same time. And that keeps the rear end stable.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that's decent at clutching, you'll basically almost do the same thing, but you're not going to use as much brake. You're off the gas, but you just roll the brake to keep the car from spinning.
Ah, okay.
That stables it just like you do trail braking. Clutching, you'd use the brakes to stable the car. That's how I do it, at least.
And he's still passing people. He's under Toby right now, trying to get a spot.
You don't lose. You believe it or not, you really don't lose as much going into the corner.
Yeah.
Because you're
lifting anyway.
just free rolling it.
Yeah, you'd be lifting anyway, right? To slow down for the turn, so you might as well just have 0 RPM.
It is a little different. It's different. You're still free rolling into the corner. You will lose a tad, but if done right, keeping the brakes right, you don't want to brake to the point where you're actually slowing yourself down. You want to brake to the point where you're just stabilizing the front end and this, keeping the car underneath you.
Locking that suspension up. So we are within the last 10 to go here. Toby gets a little bit wide, but he's okay. Keeps it off the wall.
Gary Heiser pitting, you know that these guys are going to be close. These top three, the top two at least. I don't know if they can make it. Danny Carroll's trying to get underneath Randy Waugh. He's
doing it.
But Randy's good off the corner.
I don't know if these guys are saving much right now. These top 4 guys right here, all 4 of them. That's position 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I don't see anybody other. Now Jovan's no longer clutching, so he must have saved. Feels as though he saved himself enough. He's trying to roll the high side. Now I told you you can do it, but you got to be able to get in the right position. So he can't get. He's not going to get Randy there but he's got Denny Carroll pinched down.
John Godfrey in that Wrangler car back there, he's liking this because these guys are all racing each other pretty hard right now. He's going to be able to close a little bit of a gap. Let's see what the 3 is doing here for the interval.
Ooh, and
1 second.
Randy
even.
Waugh touched. Just a little bit of touch, not like a malicious touch. It's just more of an internet latency, and he got
another one
with a little bit with Denny Carroll.
Godfrey's back there loving this because he's closing that gap a little bit every time.
see Denny's car just twitching a little bit back and forth. So I think they just got close enough to where the twitch kind of sent Jovan up.
I'm keeping the camera locked on Denny right now because he's in the middle of this. So we're able to see the most stuff, if that makes any sense.
It does. We're going to be coming to 3 laps to go, I believe, or 4?
We are 90 of 94 right now.
We're
3 to go at the line.
Yep, 3 to go at the line. Now it's a question is these guys can make it.
Interesting.
Even if Jovan's back there a little bit, but if he's the only one that can make it out of the top 4 on fuel, you know, these guys, Denny Carroll just clutched.
Yeah, I was going to say, Denny's dropping the clutch.
They are very close on fuel.
Yeah. When you see this, if you're not familiar with what we're talking, see how the car squats to the track right there. That's just what the game does when there's no power. When you put that clutch in and you kill
Toby Robinson just way tight off the corner.
She's tighter running out of gas.
Turn for a wall.
Maybe he's pounding the wall to try to get more fuel to go into the pickup.
That could be. I don't know. But that was just it looked like he tried. I think he was trying to see if he could just run the outside of Randy Wall, and he just in my opinion, he hit it just a little too hard. Randy's slowing down.
He's holding these guys off though, man. Like, I mean, there's a couple laps to go, but I don't know. This is going to be pretty crazy. Toby taken to the apron. Not Toby, sorry, Denny Carroll. Toby right
Denny's
behind
still
him.
clutching.
Oh,
you see how
my.
much he gains? You see how much he gains doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he gaining, or is Randy really trying to conserve?
Well, that too. Now Jovan Anderson's coming back at him now. He's on the
3
bottom.
wide. Oh my God. See, now Jovan's right back in there again.
Yeah. He's saved up enough.
Yeah. Denny must be getting dangerously
We're on the
low
last
on fuel.
lap. Next thing is, can Randy Wall hold off Jovan Anderson? This is going to be an interesting 3 and 4.
Yeah. Very interesting. Jovan out of nowhere.
He's going to have to drive it deep. There he
Jovan's
goes.
going to pass him on the right. He's going to try.
Trying.
21 car is able to hold everybody off.
Jovan too hard.
Yep.
Tony Robinson's underneath him.
That's awesome.
Randy Wall
What a
is going
race.
to win this race.
The 21 car, the Ford Fusion of Randy Waugh.
Ford Fusion. Here we go. He's going to be like, I don't know. He's been doing really good in these Fords.
This random game car has been getting her done. What a fantastic race by everybody involved here. This is
why don't we see
wild.
if we can get Jovan Anderson up here for his 3rd place interview.
Yeah, we got to be quick on these interviews because some of these guys quit pretty quick. Oh, does Randy have enough fuel to do a burnout? That's the question.
No, he does not.
He does not.
No, he does not. The flag is floating in midair.
We see you clutching, trying to save at the end of that to see if you can make it, and saving to make it better on fuel. A little bit of kind of a bump there. It looked kind of almost like a little bit of interlatency where you and Randy, but and then you and Denny's car was wiggling a little bit, but 3rd place, not bad. I mean, not where you wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great run, though. I mean, we gave it all we could there to try to get back to them, but the tires are just spent. I clutched pretty much the first half of that run, so because I thought for sure that we were going to need more fuel, but I saved too much, and those guys were able to hang on.
But yeah, it was. I thought maybe that we thought that the only person that was going to be able to make it was you, just because you were clutching, because we could see that. I don't know though. So far, we need to get more people in here, but good run for you. When you get ready to the points, I know how you run. You'll be out there contending every week if you can. So we're gonna try to get some of the other guys up here. Anybody you want to thank, and we'll get on to the next guy, bud.
Well, thank you guys for doing the broadcast. I'm really sorry. I'm extremely exhausted, and
Yeah, I know.
that was a very exhausting race. And
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch though, man. Like a long green flag runs like that and coming down to a fuel mileage race is always super cool to watch and fantastic racing from everybody.
Yeah. I guess I'm just trying not to take out my frustrations at the moment. Sorry, this is probably the worst interview I've had in a long time, but thank you guys for doing the broadcast. And
All good, buddy, man. It was
very tiring. So it was a great run, but I'm glad I got a chance to run. Thank you, Toby, for putting this on. Thank you, everybody out there, for watching. Definitely recommend coming over here and racing with these guys. Great, clean, fun racing. We've had 2 races in a row with less than 3 cautions, I believe. So you guys should come check this out. Great products, great tracks.
Yeah, good tracks, good racing. And, you know, even in an exhibition race, we got 129 hits on a broadcast on a Tuesday night. So people are digging it, I think.
All right, that was our 3rd place finisher, Jovan Anderson. Congratulations. Now we got Toby up here to talk with him, get my headset on him. He got 2nd place tonight, so he's all yours, Blaine.
Oh, man. Toby, I mean, he runs this place, and he got, got to get a podium finish.
That's right, but I can't win the thing. That'd be too suspicious. So, no, I'm just kidding. You know, Randy went out there, and he was up there all night in the top 5. But that last run, he had something else we didn't. He just had a little more fuel in the tank and was able to hold it up there.
With that, sorry, Rod. I'm getting stuff set up here, Rod. Can you interview
That's all
Toby?
right. Yeah. It was a good night. You ran up front most of the night after that. You had the first green flag pit stops, which is really cool. Randy, yourself, Gary Heiser, who had been running up there most of the Javan, you guys all had really great pit stops. Got out there, kind of got away from the field. We did see Keith Bynum and Denny Carroll kind of slowly running you guys down, but that caution, green flag pit stops. Whoops, where did he go?
He's back up in the main room.
He disappeared on us.
I'm back. They were too busy. They wanted to celebrate with me. My pit crew pulled me out for a second.
I see. All right. So, anyways, but you guys, the green flag pit stops really kind of separated the field. And you guys are out there running. You really had a great night tonight. I think you got a little bit into the fence once. Off of turn 4.
Yeah, I think it was actually twice. I barely clipped it the first time, but I always had each time I was pitting, I was repairing like a quarter of a second damage here, a quarter of a second there, just enough for them to swing the hammer once and make me a little more aerodynamic. But it wasn't affecting my car enough to where I felt like I was noticing it. But no, it was exciting, and pretty much everyone kept their car clean. I didn't really see too many people smacking down the wall.
And they had a few, Hart McCarsky had an episode where he got into the wall on exit once, but
oof.
Yeah, he was forced to retire because he got a little bit sideways there, and the wall just heaved him at an angle that it wasn't the most pleasant angle to watch that accident. I was like, that's a hard hit. But you guys run moderate. That was a question I had about the damage settings for the entire season that you're planning in 2025. Are you guys running moderate in every single race, or does it kind of flip-flop between realistic and moderate depending on the track?
It's our first season. We don't want to overcomplicate things, so we're just going to keep it moderate across the board. Come back next year, 2026, and guys are like, it's a little too unrealistic. We want realistic damage. We'll listen to the drivers. But most leagues and most series out here do run moderate for the most part if you were to jump between most nights. So, I think that the unique thing that we do here is the 3X versus the 2X. I think that's really our, bread and butter reason to get that people like to come on out here.
Yeah, that's always cool. A faster, more pit stops, especially in a 90-lap race. Like, it really does show. Like, what was the caution? There's only 3 cautions in this race.
Right, and one of them was a self-spin, I think. So
yes, it was. Yeah, the first one, I think it was just Hunsbury got around and just kind of slammed the brakes on, locked her up, spun it around. Nobody hit him, no contact anywhere. But, it's very, very cool to see. This whole
I've
thing
always-
works pretty good. I mean, even with only a dozen drivers this evening.
Yeah, I think there's a sweet spot. You know, if we had, I'm not going to be like, oh, this is the most amazing league ever. If we had 40 guys out here, we would do the same thing. You know, more numbers, more driver numbers typically mean more cautions. So I think the sweet spot's somewhere around 18 to 25 maybe, and we'd like to get there. That's not to say more people can't join, but we can have fun with 12 guys. But I want to see what the racing's like with more people. I'm really curious how strategies would work out. You know, are you gonna pit? If you fall back to 10th when you pit, not a big deal. You fall back to 25th when you pit.
Yeah.
Under yellow, that's a bigger deal.
And when you get big groups like that too, you start getting teams involved and they're working together and stuff like that's kind of neat too. And of course, the goal is to have knockout qualifying or multiple qualifying sessions. Just because you had too many people show up, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm open to however it works itself out. I know you had a ton of people watching tonight, so I appreciate the awareness and just you guys being able to do this on pretty short notice. I mean, we came together and said, hey, wouldn't it be fun to kind of do a series like this and blame through together a nice promo and a nice decal for our series. So it's more than just broadcast. It's really, you guys have had a helping hand in building this up. So we'll have to see what happens week 1, right? We'll see.
Yeah.
So
man.
are you guys going to probably not going to run next Tuesday being Christmas Eve?
We are not. So our first race is going to be January 7th.
All right, so are you going to do any more exhibition races? Not necessarily even not televised races, before the season starts?
No, and that's unfortunately just because of how the days fall.
Yep.
Next Tuesday, day before Christmas. Tuesday after that, New Year's Eve. So.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
No, it was good timing.
Good to get the
because
word
it's
out. Yep.
Yeah, a couple of quick exhibition races, and then you get the holiday break, and then we come back. And you said the 7th was the first race, and you have a Discord server set up now as well.
Oh, you guys are on top of it.
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
we just set that up earlier today. Word gets around quick. Yes, we do have a Discord server. Hopefully you can find that in the description of this stream at some point if you guys have added it, or you can always find it on our... as I say, you can find it on the Facebook page as well. You'll have no trouble finding it. Just search Moboil Cup 10, Facebook, maybe even on Discord too, if you're able to search servers, and come join us too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. The Discord stuff's cool because you can do a lot of different things with the Discord channels and keeping everything a little bit more organized than Facebook, I find, because stuff sort of gets lost in Facebook, but with Discord you can, you have those rooms. Hey, where do I download tracks? Bang, there's a download folder.
Right.
Or a
And you
download room,
You can do it in your browser too, so it's like you don't even have to have the Discord app. You just click on the link and you're like, oh, one page, and it has the tracks, it has the results, it has the points, it has the cars, it has the files, and you're not searching through. You're not like, was that Facebook post 20 posts ago that?
Yeah,
has
and
the
depending
track
how
link?
popular it was, it might disappear completely or be at the top the whole time. Yeah, Discord's a lot cleaner.
Right. So I think it's kind of the future. We used to do forums, and we used to rely on other methods, but I've seen more and more leagues going towards Discord, and Facebook is good for just it's really good for just being like, hey guys, if you missed the Discord post, this is a good backup. You know what I mean? It's better to have a backup.
Yeah,
If I'm not broadcasting, on the 7th, I'll try to see if I can get there and race.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to get in there too. I always say it, I gotta get this wheel back on the front of the desk.
I just took mine off, so I'm gonna have to hook mine back off. But I do it for
You did do that.
Yeah, you guys should alternate each time.
I need
Each time
2
out.
rooms. I need a broadcasting room and I need a race room.
On track action.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
We've done
ready
that.
for it.
We've
I've
done
done
that.
it. I've done it. Yeah, I can always do that too. Randy Wah, congratulations on your win, man. You can stay in here too, Toby.
Hey, man, that was fun. I'm
Dude,
glad
Now-
to be up here talking to y'all.
First question. You ran last week. You finished really well. This week you won in a Ford. Are we staying Ford or are we going Dodge?
Absolutely not. I'm gonna get me a Dodge painted, hopefully this week or next week, and Y'all see me in Dodge next time.
Roll Tide Dodge, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Painted by Frank Divins Sr., I would imagine.
No,
I
it's
bet
going to
you-
be painted by Mr. Randy Waugh.
Oh, very nice.
Nice. Okay.
Imagine
I
Corey-
painted all my cars except for a few. I mean, I've had some others just paint me an Alabama car. Most of them I painted.
Right. Yeah.
Corey's going to be.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, Corey's going to be very excited about this one. I can't wait for him to see it. He'll probably see it
Awesome.
Saturday.
Has
Very
Corey
cool.
ever painted a car?
No, he can't do that. He's got cerebral palsy. He can't.
No, but you
Operate a
could like
computer.
print him off the template on a piece of paper, and he could like draw. I've seen people do that before.
I could make that painting.
Yeah, like with their kids,
I
they're
might
like
try that.
they like draw it. Like, hey, what do you want the side of the car to look like? And then he can draw it. And then what do you want the hood to look like? And he can draw it. And then the side of the car, you just mirror it over to the other side. You know, you
I
could
was telling
pull it
Blaine,
off.
Randy, I was telling Blaine when my daughter was like 4 years old,
Mhm.
I used to do a lot of painting, and she said, Dad, I want to paint a car. So I just opened up a layer, and she said, I want to do this. And basically she just did kind of like the paintbrush thing where she could just move the mouse around and paint it up the way she wanted it. She got done. She goes, I'm done. And I think I ran it the first Cup Series over at Talladega Nights when they had the Back to the Future. That white car with the, like, just looked like streaks of paint going over was painted by my 4-year-old.
Cool. Yeah, I might try something like that for Corey. If not, I may put his picture on there. He really likes that too.
Yeah. That'd be kind of neat. Yeah, just get him to like, draw something, and then you can always get it into the Photoshop and make it happen. Slap a number on it. Obviously, you have to put a number on it.
And upside down 21, right? No.
No, probably 21 anyway.
No, you ran good tonight. I mean, you ran up front most of the night, took the lead a few times off and on. First person off pit road there in that one of them later cautions or later pit stops, and it got out front. And when you got out there at the end of it, they had nothing for you. So congratulations, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've always liked this version of this track. I've always done well here. It
I know you're
suits
not a
my
big
driving
fan.
style.
I know you're not a big fan of the cup physics, but this cup physics in this track worked well for you.
Oh yeah. It did a lot. It had good grip, so that helps with the cup physics. But
Yeah.
I've gotten a little better with cup lately. I've gotten to learn to set up my wheel a little bit better and my pedals, and I'm getting better on cup.
I'll ask the question too, though, because we were talking about it earlier in the broadcast. What do you have for a wheel?
I've got the Fanatec CSL direct drive.
Oh wow!
Wow, that's a nice
Uh,
wheel.
I have the same wheel. I can vouch for it. It's a great wheel.
Yeah, I love it. So
Is that-
Toby, if you have some settings and stuff that you can help me with, I'd be glad to listen. I've been playing with it, but I don't know what all those settings are in there.
Oh,
It
yeah,
feels
if you-
pretty good right now.
I mean, if any advice you have, help me get a win or two this season, I'm all for it. So
Yeah, I'm
and
just-
I can't believe you had enough feel at the end. I mean, I'm sure they talked about it over and over, but I was really like, okay, I just got to focus on this 93. I just got to, if I can get around him, the rest of them will fall off like flies, and you found a way. It's crazy.
Yeah, I thought I was done when you got into me on the pits, though, because I had to go all the way to the back. But it worked out. That wreck there toward the end helped me a lot, because I don't know if I could have got back through the field if I hadn't been through that for that.
So I'm glad karma worked itself out a little, and yeah, I had a little bit of a hiccup at Texas too, so I need to clean it up a bit.
Luckily, it's a
States
non-points
practice.
race.
True.
Yeah, I hate that it's not a points race, because I'd like to win a points race, but
Yeah.
I did win a TV race, so that's a plus.
How hard were you saving fuel at the end there? Because we were watching all you guys look like you were struggling to keep some gas in the tank.
Yeah, I topped off on that last lap. I was one of the few, and I think Jovan might have too. But I was lifting very early, and then the last few laps, I was lifting really early, almost halfway down the straightaway. And Denny was clutching, and he still almost hit me in the corner. He
Oh, yeah.
bumped me in the corner.
We saw that.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
but-
we were We were talking about that, how he was clutching, and I said, see how much of advantage he's got, and Blaine says, well, maybe Randy's lifting. And so you were lifting a lot more than I thought you were.
Yeah, I was about a half a lap short on that run, and I knew it, so I started lifting earlier, but I lifted real early there toward the end, and I'm just glad it was Denny, because if it been anybody else, it probably would have wrecked me. But Denny and I work well together everywhere, so I just hate that he didn't get second. I thought he might. And I hate for Joven, because I came up a little bit, but he came down too, and I almost put him in the wall, and I hate that, because I was going to make him go on the outside, though. I wasn't going to let him pass me on the inside.
Yeah, you got to make it work for it.
Yeah, and I did run out on the backstretch. That's why I didn't do a burnout. I ran out on the backstretch after I passed the start-finish line.
We were focused on you waiting for the burnout, then the car just disappeared. Like, okay, no fuel left.
Yeah, I tried it, and I hit the gas one time, and then it just ran out.
Awesome.
So I wish I could have done a burnout, my standard backwards burnout, but next time, hopefully soon.
Would have been a Greta burnout because it's in a Ford, right? No. Sorry.
You're not going to let that go, are you?
No. I would rather be in a Dodge than a Ford any day, but I have to just, you're doing well with a Ford. Let's just say hypothetically, next race comes around, you're in a Dodge and you don't do so well. I'm just going to remind you of that as well.
Well, I might think about it seriously then.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that was a fun race, and I enjoyed it. And all these guys here, I hope this league really takes off. It's fun. The mod is fun. I got a good group of guys over here, so I'm hoping it takes off.
Yeah, a lot of fun tracks too. I looked at the schedule and checked out the track download folder, and it's a deep one.
Yeah, I'm a cookie cutter type guy. I like the 1.5 half-mile tracks, and that's ones I'm better on. But and super speedway, I'm decent, I guess. But I like the 1.5 miles.
We've had some really good runs at super speedways, but there again, you know how that all works. But you've always seemed to be able to put yourself in the right positions at those super speedways.
Well, the last 4 races this past week, I have had terrible luck, and I finished in the back in all 4 races. So I was glad to be up front tonight.
Well, I guess we'll let you open the floor up for you a little bit. I know you're going to say hi to the fam and whatnot. We'll get you down there and drinking some champagne.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I want to thank you guys up here for this, and thank Toby for running this league. And then I got to do a shout out to my sons Christian and Corey, my grandsons Adrian, Asher, and Asa. Christmas getting here pretty soon. Boy, it's coming fast. But also, I want to do a shout out to my grandson Asa, who's wrestling. He was second in state. He might have dropped a spot or two because he lost one last week, but he's doing really well. And of course, got a shout out to Corey. And Corey, let's go get them again. That was fun, and I can't wait for you to watch it.
Yeah, we
I
always
hope y'all
know.
got to say something to Corey on there.
I was just going to say that we always mention Corey when we're focused on your car. It's a guarantee.
Yeah, I'm thinking seriously about putting this picture on there somewhere, but I'm going to put Let's Go Corey always on the back when I do my cars from now on.
Nice.
That's awesome.
But yeah, this is fun, Toby. I appreciate it, man. And I can't wait to be out here in 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yep, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and starting off strong. So, and a lot of new, a lot of people I've never raced around before. I don't think we've raced too much together, maybe on some super speedways, but it was a blast.
Oh yeah. I remember you over at Talladega Nights a few times. But I enjoyed it, guys, and y'all have a Merry Christmas and be safe, and God bless you.
Thanks, Randy. Merry Christmas, buddy.
There you go. Our feature winner tonight, Randy Waugh.
Yeah, exhibition
Thanks,
races, man. If this is anything that's, if this is obviously this is a and like we're saying too, the driver count might even go up because the racing that's been going on in these exhibition races is fantastic, man. So yeah, you put together a good formula here, Toby. So thanks for getting Tarnation TV to do some of the broadcaster work. This is cool. I'll try to come up with some more YouTube video style stuff as well for commercials and trailers and whatnot.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. And then, just it's 50% formula, but it's also 50% of the drivers coming out and making sure we have good green flag racing. Like, I can't control everyone's car, so the fact that I'm like, well, let's try and be safe out there, guys, that's not enough. We could have easily had 9, 10, 11 cautions and then it not work out. So we got a good core group of guys here.
Yeah, it's gonna be some fun racing coming up. I gotta get a car painted, I think. I like the way these cars look. I've been, messing around with them a little bit, obviously in the replays and stuff, and it's cool to see something different from the Monster Energy that everybody seems to run. And there is a lot of mods in this amazing simulator of ours, and I don't know if I've ever heard of DMR before. I mean, I've heard of DMR, the mod team, but Cup 12. There's so many, there's Cup 9, Cup 10, Cup 11, Cup 12. There's literally every single year there's another mod, but this one looks like a lot of fun.
And it's one of those things where it's like 13 years later, you're like, was this mod fun to use? It's a hard time to remember.
Yeah.
And you go back on the track and you're like, wow, yeah, this, the model looks great. And if we had it on realistic damage, the damage would look even more incredible, which is another reason, we might switch to realistic next year. But it's great when we're able to showcase older, old but gold. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yep, I forgot about that too, that the damage models can vary as well, and some mods do damage so cool. This one has a good one, eh?
Oh, best one I've ever. I mean, there's maybe one other one. It's in the top 3. It's in the top 3.
Cool.
You got bumpers falling off. You got donuts on the side of the car, tires. You got hoods just crumpled up. It's for a 2003 game. It looks beautiful.
Nice. I'm gonna have to get out there and smash some of these things up.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Toby, and we'll see you in the new year.
All right. Thank you for everything you do, and we'll see you January 7th. Come out if you want to join us.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, man. So that was a fantastic race. Las Vegas. And links in the description below to the Facebook page for Moboil 10. From there, you can find the Discord server and get all your tracks and your cars and all those links, save them up. And
there's plenty of people there that'll paint them.
Yep. And to register for the league, and you get to pick your car number, of course. There'll be a list of numbers. You get to pick whatever's obviously hasn't been chosen. Most of the guys tonight actually were running their usual numbers. Joven in the 93, Denny in the 41, Graham in the 24, Gary in the 29. Huntsbury usually runs 64, I want to say.
I don't remember what number he ran,
60-something. But,
of course, Gary Heiser is always in the 3. Of course, he's in the 29, but John Godfrey was running the 3, and that stemmed from last week, where when John decided to come do this is a car that he just happened to have painted, so he threw it in there and went racing. I would imagine when they come down to the points part of it, John Godfrey will probably go back to his 711 or 711, and he has 2 numbers that he runs, and then you'll see probably Gary Heiser back in his 3.
Yeah. For the exhibition stuff, it's just kind of whatever, right? Just get in a car and go do it. But thanks everybody for watching. That was a lot of hits on an exhibition race on a Tuesday night. Very, very cool.
Toby's just, he's been just talking about doing this and trying to get it figured out. And I know me and Chris Elliott were in talks with helping him and stuff. Chris has unfortunately had stuff that goes on Tuesday nights as a recent, and that's kind of why we stopped doing our Tuesday night Back to the Future League. So they're just trying to get things worked out and figure everything out, and just trying to let people know. That's the main thing. That's why we're here, to let people know that there is a league here. They're looking for drivers. And it looks like a great league. Come on, race and have a good time.
Yeah, and thanks to the Primetime Racing League, because they're letting their facilities, they're lending the use of their facilities on Tuesday nights to the Moboil 10. So that's cool. They can all share a server and cut the cost.
What's kind of nice about what Keith was doing with the Primetime Racing League, most of the guys run under his banner and whatnot, but basically you've got like Graham McDonald, I believe he has a Friday night deal, and he pays to have the Friday night slot at the PRL server, which they don't pay a whole lot. They pay enough to help out Keith with the cost of the server. Yep. And the team speak and stuff. And that's what basically Mobile 10 is, as of right now, doing, is kind of leasing a spot at Primetime Racing League. It's not under their banner. It's under the Flat Out Racing Network banner, but they're nice enough to lease out a Tuesday night slot for them so that they can be here and do this racing.
Yeah, the server cost too. If you can get a bunch of different people who want to race on certain nights of the week, somebody has to buy that server, and it's on all the time. Well, if you can split that cost up too, it's a lot more affordable for everybody involved. And then you've got all different kinds of styles of leagues, and like a league inside a series, different stuff going on. So the Tuesday slot is occupied, the Friday slot, and the Saturday slot. So, of course, this Friday and Saturday, Tarnation TV will be back live, and we'll be doing the Primetime Racing League, both of their championship races. Their truck championship on Friday night at 9, and the very next day, their Monster Energy Cup Series mod. They run the I think it's the Camping World 15 trucks, and then the Manx 19 the night after. And then the week after that, it's the All-Star race. So there's a few little broadcasts coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So thanks for watching if you want to watch them.
Links and unfortunately, I won't be there Friday. I won't be there Friday, but I'm turning 58, or as they say, 29 again.
Yep.
I'm gonna be out and about, so I won't be there, but I will be there next Saturday with you doing the Men's Cup race on Saturday, and then the All-Star race the following.
Yep, that's going to be a lot of fun. And happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you.
It should be fun. Thanks for everybody for tuning in to Tarnation TV. Hopefully we entertained you, because I know the racing definitely did. But at the end of the day, it's always awesome that people even care to watch this. So thanks again for Tarnation TV for viewing the product. Hopefully we'll see you back here if you subscribe to it. Thanks for doing so. If you want to hit the thumbs down button, hit it twice, and we'll see you next time. We'll probably be going around in circles. If the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.